Kalaham, known as the Iron Lady. I'm with the beautiful Millycent Mashele, the founder of the Legacy Center. Today we are talking auditing. Millycent, please tell us, when we are talking about auditing, what is it that we're talking about? Obviously, we are making reference to business.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mpile, and I get excited when you're talking about auditing because when you introduce yourself to people as an auditor, they just literally just close their mouth and they just like, oh, auditors are here. It's like we are police.
Okay.
So police of business. But otherwise, today we at least going to understand that we are not police.
Okay.
So auditing is a service that is really done is an assurance service.
Okay.
So then auditors provide assurance towards something that has happened. So then in this case, we will provide assurance on the financial statements that has been prepared by the accounting team of that organization. So we are actually saying, when we put our signatures there, we're saying we are giving assurance that the financial statement has been prepared in accordance to our reporting framework or not, depending on the outcome or the opinion. So we're really just giving an opinion. So auditors are opinionated people in a sense because their work is to really provide an opinion. Obviously, an opinion is not something that can be absolute. So we don't provide absolute assurance to say yes because there's an auditor signature, things are perfect, but we provide a sense of reasonable assurance over financial statement or over whatever we are auditing to say in terms of our procedures and our processes. We have audited these books and we are happy at this level, which is a reasonable assurance, and in this case would be financial statements. Yeah.
So what is the purpose of auditing?
So the purpose of auditing, remember, what we are auditing has a user.
All right.
So a user, for example, let me just say we are auditing the financial statements of the business. So the users of the financial statement are definitely external people. For example, the banker maybe wants to give a loan to the business. So then they want to at least have an assurance to say that what is presented on the financial statement by management is reasonable for them to make a conclusion to decide about that organization. So then the purpose is really just to enhance the assurance or the trustworthiness of the financial statement. And by that, how we do it is we have audit procedures.
All right.
So like a doctor, for example, when they want to examine you, when you go see them, that you have a certain sickness or get to a conclusion about how you feel, they will ask you certain questions. They won't all of a sudden take you to an operation, right?
Yes.
They would actually get to, is your family members affected by that? Tell me about the history, tell me about this. Those are surgical procedures, I would believe. So we also have our audit procedures. So to actually get to a point where we can give an opinion on this financial statement, we conduct audit procedures through inquiries, through investigation or inspection of documents, through observations, and through maybe reperforming certain activities. Then we can get to say, this financial statement or these numbers, in a sense, doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Then we ask and we ask and we ask, and then that process will get us to give the opinion.
All right. Then who is your target market? Do you audit every business or do I have to have a certain turnover?
Okay. So audit process in its nature is a regulated service.
Okay.
It's regulated by the Companies Act. It's legislated in terms of businesses, certain businesses. If you are a public company listed on the JSE, you definitely need to be audited. So I would actually say to you, it depends on the nature of company and the users.
Okay.
So because we provide assurance for the user, so you might be a small company, but there's a user who wants to decide about your financial statement, might need assurance. Then they can request you to have audited financial statements. But otherwise, it depends also on the level of public interest that is vested on those financials. For example, non-profit organizations, remember they use public funds to service public. So they get donations, they get grants, and these grants are given in good faith. So then because and they benefit the public. So because that is an interest for the public and the users are really just to see that these funds are used for the public, then they have to be audited in most cases because of that public interest. Like your regulated services, your attorneys, trust accounts, because for example, they get money for the client and they have it in a trust account and they have to distribute it fairly in terms of legislation to their clients. They get to be audited because the money is kept for other people. So the assurance levels, they are high. So in short, it depends on the user and the assurance level and the legislation.
All right.
For you to say, I get audited.
All right.
But at Legacy Center, one director-owned, for example, might not need to be audited because maybe the financial statement are just used for the purpose of the directors and the business.
All right.
Yeah.
So what are the different types of audit?
So there's different types of audit. Like I said, audit does not give absolute assurance. It gives reasonable assurance.
Okay.
So then it depends. Then there will be agreed upon procedures where maybe a certain user is interested on a certain specific, then they agree with the auditor to say, I just want you to conduct this.
Okay.
Then we call that agreed upon audit procedures. And then there is obviously the regulated audit, which is a full audit where we give an opinion on the financials. And there's also, I would introduce to you internal auditing, where you audit the internal operations to add value towards your risk and controls and governance of that entity. So those are some of the types of audit. Like your lifestyle audit, you can actually agree. Lifestyle audit is mostly an agreed upon procedure. I agree that you go and audit this individual in terms of their lifestyle. We want to have an opinion about that. Yes. Yeah.
All right. So somebody who is new in business and who needs there are documents to be audited. What documents should they bring to the Legacy Center?
Okay. So financial statements, when you audit them, we definitely need the set of financial statement that has been prepared by an accountant who is knowledgeable in terms of the international financial framework. And then from there, we need the supporting documents that support what has been prepared on the financials. So supporting documents like your invoices, your supplier statements, your asset registers, everything that is in the financials has to be audited. It needs to be supported by evidence. I always say the nickname of an auditor, if you were to give me a name as an auditor, you would call me evidence. Because all I need is evidence. If it does not have evidence, then I'm not going to conclude on it. Yeah.
All right. So can I just have clarity? Is this something as a business person I can do for myself, or I really need to come to the Legacy Center or any other businesses for consultancy?
So auditing services, like I said, are regulated. You need to have an auditor who is trained in that field. So obviously internal auditing would be internal auditors that are subscribing to Institute of Internal Auditors. External auditing, you need a registered auditor who is a member of IRBA. So that is a service that you can't really delegate, because obviously you're auditing. You can't be the referee and the player, right?
Yeah.
So then you are the player, then it means we need a referee who is an auditor. So you can't do it. Yeah, you need an auditor.
All right. So what are the challenges that as the Legacy Center face when you guys get the documents and all that?
I think the main challenge about auditing is the understanding of auditing.
Okay.
People don't really get to understand that there's a difference between the accountant and the auditor. You cannot do these both services. So people come in and say, I want audited financial statements. But in real sense, they don't even have financial statements.
Okay.
So you can't say you want audited financial statement. Please first prepare financial statement for us to audit your financial statement. So when you want an audit service, you must make sure that you have financial statement. So that is really a major misunderstanding or a challenge that we face. Then we have to first say, no, you need an account. Prepare your books, then we will audit after. So those are really the misunderstanding about the auditing service. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Millycent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. If you need any audit service, the Legacy Center is your place to go.